what's up everybody? Dimebot here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, something a little different. We've done things like this before, but it's not the norm. So, I'm joined by my good friend, Lunarpolitiks. Hello, Mr. Politics.
Hello, Mr. Dimebot.
And we're going to be talking about a game that both of us are kind of a fan of, but first, I need to turn the volume down because it's attempting to make my ears bleed.
As per usual.
So, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning came out in 2012, developed by Big Huge Games and 38 Studios, published by Electronic Arts, and it was their only game before they filed for bankruptcy. You may notice that the music is amazing. That's because it was composed by Grant Kirkhope, who is a legend. Also designed by R.A. Salvatore, Todd McFarlane, and Ken Ralston, so there's a lot to this game. It's getting remastered, and Looney and I have been playing it, and have some thoughts about the old game and kind of what we would like to see in the newer one. One of my first things, Looney, is this options menu for this game is hot garbage.
It is. It's entirely lacking in what it needs.
So,
mainly camera options.
Yes. Back in 2012, it wasn't uncommon to have like bad menus like that, but it's definitely needs some updating, especially I'm always super nitpicky about, like, I like having separate volume sliders, but in some cases, please God, just give me one everything slider so I can just turn it all down without fiddling with multiple things.
Master volume would be great.
Let's get the one big thing you and I both immediately talked about to each other in DMs out of the way. The FOV for this game is entirely too close.
Massively. Especially when you're not running.
Yeah, now, this was a PS3, Xbox 360 game, and I believe this would have been, would this have been games for Windows Live at that point?
I think so.
So, yeah, games for Windows Live was notoriously bad, and we're not talking about the most powerful of consoles ever either. So, yeah, it definitely, I mean, just an option would be fantastic, because I find myself getting my ass kicked a lot of times because I simply can't see the enemies.
Yeah, the way the camera follows the character isn't great either, in that it doesn't really follow where you're moving.
Yeah, I don't know, it's like it's trying to cinematically frame. Like, right now, I'm just, like, fighting directly into the camera, which is...
Yeah, it should not let you do that.
Yeah, it's less than optimal. I am going to run myself back to a lower level area so I don't absolutely get spanked, so I don't have to think too hard while I talk. So, I think that's really, like, some of my bigger negatives with the game. I also would really, really dearly love a jump button, please. I never got that.
The lack of jump is a little bit weird. But the way the world's designed, it isn't really necessary.
Yeah, but, you know, you often get the feeling that the world is designed precisely the way it is because they didn't have room for a jump button in the controls.
That's possible.
It just, I don't know. It just nags at me sometimes. Like, I'm up on a ledge right now, and I can't just, like, jump down where I want to. I gotta go over to this little thing and find the jump down. Which, I don't know. That can be streamlined if they want to. So we don't really know how much they're going to be reworking in this game, but I think, you know, I'll let you start off. Like, what are you hoping to really get here? Like, what's your wish list?
The main thing that I'm noticing right now is the combat feels slow to me. Like, just kind of sluggish and just not fast enough. That and a massive amount of popping.
Yeah, I've noticed...
As you run through the world, the pop-in is nowhere near as far away as it should be.
Shadow cascades are really close to you, too.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that... that guy's just bleeding out of the mouth and limping around. That can't be healthy. I think one of the other big things that I've noticed is... sorry, Bargeist. To me, it almost feels like the combat issue is like some input lag. Like, the sluggishness is literally commands, like, buffering in sometimes.
It does feel a little bit lagged.
Now, I don't remember... I played it on the 360 originally. I think this was a quote-unquote 30 FPS capped game. Which nothing,
it definitely was.
Nothing on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 actually got to 30 FPS. That wasn't a thing that happened.
No.
Oh,
I'm just chilling locked at 155 right now, and it feels sluggish in total.
Agreed. I don't have my frame rate counter up, but I did just annihilate that bear, though. One thing I really do hope they keep, and I'm sure there's no reason to get rid of it, is just the way that you just get jumped at random while you're roaming around the world exploring does feel nice. Like
it does.
It feels like it's like a living world, because like that bear, like it saw me and it was like, oh, that dude's picking that flower. That's my flower. I'm gonna go wreck him.
It's my favorite flower, man. You're just gonna take that?
Right?
I'm not gonna let you take that. It's my flower. And you just have these little, when you're running through the forest and everything, they're just little fairies and things flying around. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It feels like the map's alive.
There's a lot of world building. You've got, I'm not going to use it, but I'm right by one of the waystones right now.
Yeah.
And they trigger some pretty interesting dialogue. I'm going to use a prisoner pick on this thing.
So I'm hoping they don't rework any of the voices. The voice acting overall is pretty great.
It is pretty good. I do, however, hope that one thing that gets a serious bit of attention is the inventory system.
It's bad.
It's a bad UI.
It's just a straight up list menu all the way through.
Yeah, even the compare function is not that useful. It's like managing your inventory. Like, yes, they do have a junk system and everything, but it's like I'm just going through my bag right now and just like, there's a billion things in here. What are these things? I don't know what these things do. It gives you a description, but like, key ring, a large ring that holds all of the keys you found thus far. Why is that necessary to be in here?
It's not at all.
They really need to just... Oh, Alpha Navy recruitment letter. I mean, it's a usable item, so that needs to be in there, but why is it all the way at the bottom of the list? Why can't I sort this thing by, like, story items or something, you know? I can collapse sections, but, like, in a game that is loot-driven, where you are constantly in the menus, like, it breaks the pacing of the game really bad when you have to stop after a major fight and go through all the stuff you just picked up.
It's like I just picked up a bag off the ground and it had 4 items in it. And now I just have to go through the whole inventory to figure out what they were.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this nice long list of clothing.
Yep. Yeah, I think that would be a huge one. Don't touch the music. God, don't ever touch a Kirkhope soundtrack. Like, that's not a thing that needs to be messed with. And the story is actually pretty good, probably because of who they had help with it. And, like, R.A. Salvatore is a very well-known fantasy writer. Oh, speaking of fairies, I found one of the not-so-nice versions of the fairies. Get over here. Is there anything that you can think of that you might like to see them do with hold on, I'm executing somebody.
I'll wait.
God, that system is so satisfying. Ah, so good. Train of thought. Anything that you think you might like to see them do as far as, like, adds the story, like maybe adding new elements or retouching some things that don't flow as well. Like, I know there's a couple points where you, like, first go to the Fae, their court, that's, like, really weird and clunky and just, like, doesn't feel like they got it how they wanted it.
Yeah, there are certain areas that I feel could be refined like that. Maybe a little bit. There are some areas of the world that do feel empty as well.
Yeah, I'm in one of them
Stand
right
to
now.
have. Yeah, I mean, on older consoles, it made sense. You couldn't have that many NPCs. It was a severe limit, but now you could fill an entire city with NPCs, whether they have dialogue or not.
Yeah, I mean, we're about to see it with Cyberpunk. I'm in like this grasslands area right now, and it's just like the same repeating texture out off towards the hills, and it's just like, ugh, this does not look great.
Yeah, whereas the forest that you start out in is really nice.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I don't want to. Oh, great. Brownness. You things are the bane of my existence. What I was going to ask before I got into that fight was abilities. Because your ability loadout is huge in this game. But I feel like you saw it when I streamed it the other day. Like, I was like, oh, I'm going to try this, like, really powerful like, hammer that I have in my inventory.
Yeah.
But, like, it just was not working for me trying to fight with that thing because the wind-up time on every attack was, like, 9 years.
It's a hammer. Hammers are slow.
Yeah, I also feel like there are some... Let's dive into the abilities. I forgot how insane this game's skill tree is. Oh, and go take a look at it. It doesn't scale at high resolution.
Yeah, it's a little bit small.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're running it at, but I'm at 1440p, and it's maybe an eighth of the screen.
Yeah, same. I'm at 1440p, and it's a little hard to read. Like, I get, I like it. I like a lot of the attacks. Like, I love Fey Blades, so I've got a lot of points into, like, 6 points into daggers and Fey Blades and masteries for those, like 3, 6, 9. Yeah, I'm getting like 15 points into that. I didn't like nothing into Longbow. So, if anything, I would like to see some branching paths to where, like maybe you can kind of cross-specialize a little bit. Like, I would use Longbow a little bit more if I could get some of the stuff like barbed arrows. Like, maybe if I could up my Fey Blade mastery and then, like, pop over one rung for a few more points just to pick and choose an ability instead of having to go up the whole tree. Kind of like Path of Exile does this a little bit with the sphere grid system.
I feel like the archery could be improved as well, just in general.
It really could.
Aiming feels kind of not great. It doesn't lock onto the targets that you want it to a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. I also feel like poison could really be buffed up. Poison's dot effect is kind of garbage. And then, have you ever really bothered to mess around with a sorcery character in this game?
I mean, the one I'm playing right now uses staffs, but unfortunately have not had as much time as I would like to have, so I haven't advanced very far.
I never felt like they were especially powerful. Like, you really get a lot of utility out of the finesse tree and the might tree because of the well, for one thing, assassination, like stealth kills, are incredibly powerful.
Yeah. But also, I really like staves.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But I feel like the whole sorcery tree just like... I mean, you've got to get so high to make anything work in it, and there's so few options like Sphere of Retribution, Meteor, Winter's Embrace, and... this thing is hard to navigate, and Tempest, which is hold the button for Stormbolt to summon forth lightning from the heavens, smiting all nearby foes. Like, Arcane Weaponry unlocks dodge special attacks for the chakrams. Great. Chakrams are great, but like it's so hard to find a decent pair of them early game. And I can't remember. How hard is it to respec in this game?
I don't think it's that difficult. You have to find a Fate Weaver to do it.
Ah, yes. Fate Weavers. There was one other thing I
don't remember how expensive it was.
I don't either. There was something else that I had in my... uh-oh. Ominous ass music. Ow!
Seems like the ominous music was referring to something.
Yeah, it was a sign. Okay, like right now, this is a perfect example of how bad the camera is. Like, number one, that's like the biggest fix. Get back here. Also, this game has something that I despise, which is radial menus to select items. And yes, I know if I was playing on keyboard and mouse, I'd have all the hotkeys in the world, but guess what? This game's controls are trash on mouse and keyboard.
Oh yeah. I make a point of plugging in my Xbox controller every time I play this game.
Yeah, same. Like right here, this is not a fan. So I think there are hotkeys you can set up, but that's clunky as hell on a controller. Like the whole UI, as we've said, needs a little love. The tech side, I feel like giving this game like, and they have said it's a remaster, not a remake, but I feel like giving this game like a HD texture overhaul and pushing the shadow culling and the LODs out a good bit will go a long ways towards making it look better.
Yeah.
Like the animations are reasonably good. They're not like insane, but you know, it's not awful, and they're clearly keyframed for combat, although I feel like they don't blend that well sometimes, which might lead to that feeling we were talking about earlier. I would like to see a little bit of these.
One specific thing I'm noticing right now is that when you do the triple combo with the staff, it feels like there's a delay between each individual strike.
It's probably waiting on you to get the input right.
There isn't really a correct input for it. Just there's like a pause between each hit, no matter what the cadence is for the attack.
Really? I haven't used the staff in so long.
It's not that noticeable, but it would be nice just for the combat to feel more fluid in general.
Yeah. Now I'm out of mana, and I mean, like, I just really dislike, and this is a very personal gripe, having to pause combat completely like I did right there to use up some potions and stuff. Granted, yes, it does let me pause combat, but it's really just like gamey, and I don't like it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Pardon me
the
while
wheel toggle is strange too.
Yeah.
Oh, I can level up.
I thought that my fate thing was full right there, but I guess not. Guess not, game. Yeah, the HUD scaling is awful. They'll be able to fix that. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna just murder this guy for no reason. Like, I don't have to kill him right here like this, but... I do love these fate attacks. They're so good. Especially when you do one in a large group and you can just murder everybody. Like, that is one thing they did get with the combat, is it... Ooh, Chaser's Longsword. That part of it does feel satisfying. I know one thing that would really help, because I just realized it when looking at the map. They do a really bad job of signposting where you need to go.
Yeah. The map and everything is really nice. Never really find yourself confused as to where you need to be.
Oh, no, I'm saying the exact opposite for me. I'm constantly confused as to where I'm going.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I get lost all the time in this game, which I don't mind sometimes because it is really nice to explore, but... Like, yeah, I get that there's roads and stuff, but the overall, like... I have to stop and look at the map and be like, okay, is my little arrow going the right way right now? That's the only way I can ever find where I'm going, because the visual signposting, like, think about, did you play the Tomb Raider games, the new ones?
Vaguely.
I know you watched me play them.
Eh?
I don't think you were there for
I've made it work for every one of those streams.
Really?
Yeah.
So they do a really nice job of just, like, very subtly signposting things like, oh, there's a little bit of white along the edge of this cliff face. You can climb this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and my inventory is full, and I won't be able to carry that stuff because I can't manually just break shit down. So, but this game has, like, none of that, except for the little paths and roads. Like, just none of it. Let me open the map. And the map doesn't even... load that well. But like you've switched to the local map. This is not a fantastic map. This is kind of hard to read.
That might just be you.
It might just be me, but like, I don't know. I just feel like that could be the in-game signposting on where to go could be fixed very easily. Even just let us do what Breath of the Wild lets you do to a certain extent. You know, when you can just put a marker on the map and it's like, hey, beam of light, go to it. You know?
Yeah. And I do feel like on the map things could be marked a little better as to what they are.
Mm-hmm. There's really little in the way of, I mean, when you're on the big map, when you see the towns, that's helpful, but when you go to the local map, like, there's very little in the way of, like, well, this is an NPC right here, and I can see the merchant and the fate weaver and everything, but are they're in a tavern, but, like, you have to hover everything to see that. Everything, like, all the buildings you could go into just have the same little door symbol. Like, you could put something next to each one of them to let you know, like, oh, there's a little mug next to the tavern. I'm looking for the tavern when I get there. Instead of having to move the cursor all the way over to it. I mean, and that's a tiny, small nitpick, but we're talking about a remaster, and that's the kind of thing you fix in remasters, is the tiny, small nitpicks. And that's like a little bit of a quality of life improvement, because you're going to be playing this game for a long-ass time. So, spending 30 seconds in the menu on the map every now and again doesn't seem so bad, but when you're going to do it a couple thousand times... what was one other thing? Oh, side quests. How did you feel about the side quests in this game?
Some were good, some were bad. It's kind of eh.
Yeah, I honestly feel like I could see the mass majority of the go kill 5 rats stripped out.
Yeah. Anything that's just like a fetch quest or kill this, kill that.
I feel like that came from this game's original intention to be an MMO. So,
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, that was, if I remember correctly, that was a thing. It certainly feels like a single-player MMO.
Might be part of why the world is so empty.
I think the world being empty is... I think you nailed it. I think that is straight up a limitation of those consoles. My god, I forgot how long enemies will chase you for. Oh, hell no, I don't want to fight a mountain troll right now.
Why not? He just wants a hug.
I forgot how good some of the character, like, enemy designs are in this game.
Yeah, nothing feels like it's a repeat of something you've seen in other games. It all feels very unique.
And this is why I didn't want to fight the mountain troll, because everything else in the surrounding 5 miles came to help it.
It's their king.
It might be.
Engage their king in battle.
So this thing comes out on August 18th. We have no idea how long, according to the leak, it comes out on August 18th. Ooh, that is an ugly texture. And we have no idea how long they've been working on it.
Yeah.
And
how long ago did they acquire it?
2017?
So it's entirely possible that they've been working on it for 3 years.
Yeah, which would be great. I'm just noticing the texture pop in. Like, it is so close to the camera. And the geometry.
It's extremely close.
Oh, God, yeah, like right there. Jesus.
Most of the world LODs are okay.
Mm-hmm.
The larger things. But when you get to the more detailed things like trees, it's pretty bad.
Well, I just had some pretty... You'll see it when the video it goes live. But I just had some pretty severe pop-in. I was, or not even pop-in, LOD changes. I was running through like a ravine. And, boo boy, the geometry, like the higher detailed rock models, was popping in like 3 feet in front of my character repeatedly.
Yeah. As I'm running through, one thing I'm noticing is the mini-map needs to be quite a bit larger. Like, it needs to scale with resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't remember the name of this town. Hang on. Gorehart. Looking at it on the mini-map in 1440p, the thing is like the size of... I don't know what, something really small. but the icons are all overlapping, and it's impossible to tell what's what.
Yeah, well, again, this game was never meant to be run or designed to be run at the resolutions that we're running it at. So
No, it was just 720p.
UI scale can be fixed. I doubt the 360 even managed to pull 720p on this game.
It may have, maybe.
Right, where did you say you were?
Gorehart.
Gorehart.
That first town you go to.
I'm trying to remember where that is.
Where there's a random Fey laying on the ground.
That's weird. Tug Farm, Cathris, Canarok, Gorehart. Let's fast travel there. Oh God, you're right. That's terrible.
Yeah, they're all overlapping. It would be nice to have some sort of scale adjustment for it.
Yeah, well, things that they can build in, hopefully.
Yeah. Pretty much every complaint either one of us has are just quality of life changes.
Yeah, I think that's really speaks a lot to, like, this. The core of this game is really, really good. Tinker with the combat a little bit, give it a little bit of tuning up, because it is a fun combat system. It's got some really fun upgrade trees. It has some really great weapons and armor. Like, I love the loot in this game.
Yeah, I was really disappointed to find that Raptor was dead and that I couldn't find how many hours I spent in this on the 360.
I'm just looking at
I know it was a lot.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the God Rays in Goreheart.
Yeah, something they did surprisingly well on the 360.
I know it's not going to happen, but can you imagine this game with RTX?
Gorgeous.
It would be amazing. So yeah, I think, like, really the complaints that we've had, like, it's a lot of UI scaling, a lot of quality of life, a little bit of graphical tweaks, ditch some of the more awful side quests, as it were. I would really dearly love to get some new content, but I mean, I don't even know if they could get the old voice actors for this game back. It's been so long.
It has been a very long time.
It's so fun to go back to old areas in a game like this, and I'm just like, you used to be a threat. Stab, you're dead.
Yeah, one thing I'm just really hoping is that they don't do the same route that the Saints Row Remaster did, which is just up the graphics and fix nothing.
Yeah, that was pretty disappointing, honestly.
Just as a random note, they haven't put out any updates for that yet?
Oh no, they did something that broke it even worse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did something, and it is busted. I don't know what they managed to do, but I also would like to see the level cap raised, maybe, because this game's level cap is 40.
Yeah, it's a little low. Just a little.
I think that's because it seems to me like you're going to have a cap that low. It's like, well, there's going to be a sequel, and you can carry your character over, so we can't let your numbers get too crazy.
Right.
I like a lot.
DLC raise the level cap at all?
I don't remember. I could look that up.
I had the DLC on Xbox, but I don't have it on PC.
I don't either. It's been so long since I've even thought about that. So yeah, before we wrap up, any final thoughts?
Don't half-ass it, put effort into it.
Yeah, please, THQ. I think they have some type of plan here. Although I don't understand why you would bring a relatively unknown franchise like this back. I mean, obviously it does have its fans, you know, like us, but this seems like kind of like we talked about when Saints Row 3 was remastered. It's like, why go to this effort unless you're planning on revitalizing this series in some way, shape, or form?
Yeah, this is a kind of an odd choice for something to dig up from 8 years ago.
Yeah, even more so than Saints Row the Third, because I mean, Saints Row, there's enough memes and jokes, and you see it mentioned enough that like Saints Row is still somewhat culturally relevant in 2020. This game was kind of not, as much as I love it. So, I don't know. I think everybody should be excited for this remaster. There is a very, very good gameplay experience at the heart of this game. You just have to really get used to its systems, because this game's combat does actually expect you to pay attention to what you're doing. Like, just mashing buttons is going to get you dead real fast.
Yeah, if you're not paying complete attention, you'll get your ass kicked before you even know it.
Yeah, and it also does something that Xenoblade Chronicles does that I hope that they keep, and I think they probably will, is it is entirely possible to walk into a place where you should not be and be like, oh, that thing's 30 levels above me. I'm toast.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, guys, that's just kind of a little rambly kind of, because we're both playing, discussion about what we hope for the Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning Remaster, what we think about, like, going back to this one after 8 years. God, collision detection needs some help, too, because, like, I should not have gotten, like, I'm permanently stuck right here. There's absolutely nothing blocking me, and I'm just stuck right here, so.
Yeah, the hitboxes on various things, particularly geometry, or particularly geometry, are kind of weird.
They're very
like
Zelda 64.
Like, I'm about 3 feet from this wall, and I can't get any closer to it.
Yeah, it's strange. Alright, guys, anyways, Looney, thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, sir.
And if you guys enjoyed the video, found it useful or helpful, like, subscribe, press the bell, do all the YouTube things, and I will see you guys next time.
Go to danbot.com to buy some merch.
Nice plug. I'm going to leave that in.
Gotta plug the merch.
I know. And recording off.